Welcome back to MotionPic Recap. Today we're going to recap the romance and comedy movie titled, Chalet Girl. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. Some news reporters tell us that a young woman called Kim is a skateboarding prodigy. However, after having been in an accident where she lost her mom, they explain that no one has seen Kim skateboarding anymore. Today, she's living with her father Bill, working at a fast food chain. She talks with a friend called Trace and says she doesn't know how her summer job became her rest of her life job. Her friend says she knows a posh catering agency that she can try. Next up, she's being tested on her catering skills to see if she's right for the job, but afterwards, they tell her she's not really what they want. However, as Kim is about to leave, they get a phone call, and she tells Kim to wait, saying they just got a job for her. Kim explains to her father they were out of girls and someone called needing help with cooking and cleaning, but that it's a 4-month job in Austria, and is not sure. Her friend tells her she of course must go. She calls them to accept the job, and they say she needs to fly this evening. Since her father Bill can't cook, she's hired help for him. They hug each other goodbye and she leaves. She arrives in Austria, meeting another girl called Georgie, and the two drive up in the Alps to a large chalet. Georgie explains their employers are bankers, saying the job is demanding but pays good, and that she has 30 friends who wanted her job, but that she was told they wanted someone from the inside. Kim goes inside to check the house, which is really nice. She unpacks her things in the room she and Georgie will share during the 4 months. Georgie comes back from skiing with a friend, making fun of Kim. Later, Georgie tells her the owners will come this afternoon, and goes through all the things she will do in her job. They meet a guy called Bernhard to wait for the owners, and suddenly they step off their private plane. Suddenly the son in the family called Johnny comes up, hugs Georgie and introduces himself to Kim. The rest come up and introduce themselves as well. That evening, Kim and Georgie are serving them all food, and the family is having a good time. In the kitchen, Kim remarks the family is a bit insane, and Johnny overhears, commenting sanity is overrated, having tried it once. He grabs Georgie for her traditional farting sound song, and Nigel goes up to join her, which they all enjoy. Later, Kim talks with her father on the phone, hearing a fire alarm, and Bill says it's nothing, joking it's a truck reversing next door. Next morning Georgie doesn't wake up, so Kim makes breakfast, and the family is shocked got caviar on their eggs, and the mother called Caroline tells them to enjoy their $300 omelets. Later, Kim is serving tea when Bernhard suddenly touches her inappropriately, and she avenges him, and everybody is surprised. Later, Kim finds a snowboard that she just has to try, thinking it's similar to skateboarding. In the piste, a man called Mickey suddenly lands on her, telling her to be careful. He asks her if she wants some help, and she gladly says yes. Mickey tells her she's a natural, saying they should go higher up. In the lift, he tells her there's an annual competition. Every year he enters, and every year he face plant, but this time he'll rock it, saying she should enter too, having the potential to win $25,000. That evening, Caroline tells Kim she must dress up, which she says she did, and the father called Dickie excuses his wife for her bad behavior. Georgie helps her look better, and later in the kitchen, Kim sees Johnny, who needs assistance with his tie, and since she knows how to do it, she helps him. They have guests at home, and as Kim is about to open a bottle, Johnny's girlfriend Chloe and his mother remarks Kim will put on some entertainment, and Johnny tells Kim to wait, but it's too late. Outside, Johnny goes out and gives Kim a glass, and says it's 1962 Dom Perignon, $500 a bottle, and she's shocked, remarking she's living in a parallel universe where they drink her monthly salary every 10 minutes, and Johnny replies she's right, they are aliens. Next up, the family leaves to come back in a couple weeks, and the two receive their salary. Struggling to prepare food for himself, Bill is surprised she got a $200 tip for a week, and asks if she's sure she's just cooking. In the piste with Mickey again, Kim is now practicing freestyling and snowboard tricks, and having fun. She meets a woman in the freestyle park called Tara, who recommend her to go talk to one of her friends called Willie and rent newer snowboard gear from him. She does, and when Willie learns Tara sent her, he gives her a discount. Next up, Mickey meets Georgie and Jules, who are his friends, and he tells them to check out Kim. Jules asks Georgie if she really said Kim never had been in the mountains before, and Georgie confirms she hasn't. Sadly it's snowing during the following days, and Kim can't go snowboarding. One day, Bernhard says he's been asked to test the tub and asks if they want to join him. They tease him and say they would love to, but have no swimsuits. Bernhard comments, who needs swimsuits, and they reply he's right, they can do it without, and he thinks they are serious, and the two laugh. It's Kim's birthday, and Georgie convinces Kim to go out, and they meet Mickey in a bar. They meet Willie, and Kim waves to Tara on the other side of the bar. Mickey is surprised she knows Tara, who is a real snowboarding goddess, and Willie, who knows Tara, remarks Tara thinks Kim has great potential, and Mickey jokes he taught Kim everything he knows. They have fun, and they start dancing and drinking. As they start getting drunk, they get a bad idea. Suddenly they are at the chalet, having invited people, and are doing foolish things. They dare Kim to roll in the snow, but then suddenly, Bernhard arrives with Johnny, Chloe, and Nigel, and everyone is embarrassed. They end up having to clean up a whole bunch, and are told their salaries and tips will go to paying for a stereo that got destroyed, all while the others go skiing in the meantime. As the two are finished, they go out too, and meet the others at the lift. Nigel asks if chalet girls love to have sex in gondolas, and Georgie replies of course. Chloe remarks people will see in, but Kim adds that if you do it right, the windows steam up. Johnny points at some tracks in the snow, saying some unknown man they call the Yeti always walks up early and ski down in the fresh snow before anyone else. Soon after, they all enjoy skiing down the mountain. Johnny makes a nice jump, but as Kim tries, she gets flashbacks to the incident in which her mother died, and she hesitates. Immediately Chloe tries jumping too, but that ends in a disaster. She breaks her leg, and they have to fly back to London. Johnny tells Kim he'll be back with some clients in a week or two. Next up, Kim comes to ask Mickey for help. Mickey tells her to watch how he does it, and makes a jump. He yells to her to jump into his arms, but she can't. Mickey comes back and asks what's up, proposing a solution to help her overcome her fear. They walk up and jump down together. Next, Kim is jumping over and over, finding it very fun, and both are happy. As they have taken a short break and gone up into the mountain, they try the freestyle park again, but as Kim goes for the jump, she gets her flashback again and falls. Not long after, Georgie asks Kim why give up now when she's worked so hard, saying she just got a sprain. Kim replies people die doing this stuff, getting upset and leaves. Meanwhile in the UK, Bill tells his helper he feels like he's losing Kim, and she replies people change and that change is good, persuading him to clean the kitchen to feel better. Mickey visits Kim, saying he's missing his training buddy, and asks if she wants to take a sneak peek at the competition course they are building, but Kim says she's sorry and that she can't, and he leaves. Next up, Johnny and Dickie are back with some corporate customers who are making harassing jokes about Georgie and Kim, and Georgie tells Kim they at least tip well. After having discussed some business, Dickie tells Georgie she needs to come with them, but saying she feels a bit sick, they tell Kim she must come instead. She says she'll go and get changed and get her lift pass, but Dickie comments she doesn't need it. Next up, she gets it, and Dickie asks if she's ever been in one of these, and Kim jokingly responds they actually have a bigger one back at home. Next up, they all ski, and after a while, they take a break and eat, and the corporate customers start guessing Kim's bra size, asking her what it is. Johnny quickly cuts in and tells her not to answer, telling the corporate customers that unlike most of the women they know, Kim keeps her clothes on for a living, and then Kim adds it's alright, adding that there's a saying that goes, the bigger the chat, the smaller the chap, and Dickie laughs. After 2 days, they are about to leave when Johnny tells his father he wants to stay for a couple days. Dickie asks if he's coming back for the weekend, and Johnny replies of course. Kim says out loud that they forgot to take their tips for the damaged stereo, thinking she talked to Georgie, but she thought wrong and Johnny takes their tips. He then tells Kim she can earn her money back, saying he wants to hire her. Next up, Kim is helping Johnny learn snowboarding, all while they have a friendly and lively conversation. Suddenly Kim says she can show him how it's done, and Johnny and Mickey watch her doing tricks. Later, the two talk, and Johnny reveals his parents have pretty much planned his whole life, his father having saved a place at the company board and his mother not being satisfied until he marries Chloe, saying he's always dreamt of trying a career in music. Kim asks why he doesn't just try it, and he replies it's not that simple. The next day, the two take the helicopter together to ski down the mountain off-piste, and later that day, they are fooling around and having fun, and suddenly Johnny kisses her, and as they get back, they end up in bed together. The next morning, as Kim says she had the best day of her life yesterday, Caroline sees them, telling Johnny she thought he had an engagement party to go to, and Johnny just stands frozen. Kim leaves and goes to pack her stuff, all while being angry at Georgie who didn't warn her that Johnny had proposed to Chloe. As they are arguing later, Caroline says Bernhardt called her, having seen them all over each other in the piste. Just as she tells Johnny this chalet girl is only after one thing, Kim appears saying she's right, and it was great, calling Johnny a lying bastard and leaves. Johnny runs after her, calling her name, but she just ignores him. She calls her father and tells him she's coming home. He asks what happened to the competition, and she says she'd never win anyway, commenting she looked online and saw he's ordered 24 tins of beans to eat, saying she'll come home and save him. He replies she can't give up her dreams because he is eating too much baked beans, and as he tells her that her mother would have wanted her to compete, she sees the cashier and remembers how she'll have to live if she goes back. Next up, she and Mickey are rushing out to the competition that has already started. Suddenly, they announce it's Mickey's turn next. Mickey asks if Georgie is out there, but Kim tells him not to think about her, but the board. Mickey goes, showing impressive skills, but as he does his amazing flip, he makes the face plant, this year again. Preparing for her turn, Tara gets an injection to reduce pain from an injury that is hurting. Tara then does some epic tricks and jumps in the piste, and they call her the goddess. Her injury however hurt badly. Next up, it's Kim's turn, and she too does some awesome tricks, but as she closes in on the big jump, she gets flashbacks and stops short, going around. At the finish line, they give her points, and she comes 21st. Later, she explains to her father only top 20 qualifiers for finals day, but that she is the first reserve and will get a shot if someone drops out. They end the call, and Mickey and Georgie come to meet her. They go home, and early the next morning, Kim can't sleep and goes out, starting to climb the mountain, getting to the top as the sun is about to rise. Suddenly someone says hi, and it's Willie. She remarks he must be the Yeti, and they laugh. Breathing heavily, they sit down to look at the sunrise, and Willie suddenly asks if she wants to talk about what happened. Kim struggles to tell him, but manages to explain how she and her family one day were driving home, singing in the car, and her father suddenly had to swerve, and he skidded off the road, and her mother was on the side that got hit, and she died. Kim says she really misses her, and Willie sits quiet beside her. Suddenly he tells her, "Let's ride," and the two together ski down the mountain in the sunrise. Meanwhile in London, Nigel tells Johnny that if he has to do it now. Johnny walks up to Chloe, asking to talk to her. He asks how she would feel if they didn't get married. She angrily asks if he really is ending a 5-year relationship in the middle of their engagement party so loudly that everybody hears, calling him an asshole. He says she's right, that he is, after which Chloe then hits him between the legs and walks away. Nigel comes with ice for the swelling, and then Dickie comes, telling him he trusts him. Suddenly, his mother starts a speech about the happy couple, and Dickie leads Johnny out and then tells himself it's time to make her drunk. Suddenly, Jules tells them that Johnny broke up with Chloe in the middle of their engagement party, and Georgie is surprised, looking at Kim, who says she couldn't care less. Next up, the finals day has arrived, and Kim checks in as the reserve. The competition starts, and the contestants start competing. Suddenly it's only 3 contestants left, including Tara. Kim and her talk, and Tara remarks she killed it in qualifying, until the big jump. Willie comes to help her with her injection, but asks what's left to prove since she's won so many times. Suddenly she calls on Kim to come back, taking off her number, telling her not to screw up, and Willie gets happy. They suddenly announce that Tara has pulled out, and that her place is being taken by Kim, and Georgie, Jules, and Mickey get really happy and excited. Suddenly, Bill gets a call, and it's Kim telling him she's on channel 419 right now. First he doesn't react, but then they ask if she's ready, and then start counting down. Trace gets a call from Bill that Kim is on TV. She goes, and Bill starts his TV. She does incredible freestyling tricks. Tara and Willie are watching. Her father is watching. Even Trace and her boss are watching. She goes in for the big jump, and she imagines her mother is watching. Kim jumps up into the air, and everybody she knows is tensely watching her spinning high above the ground. She lands, and everybody is ecstatic, and they announce that her jump is extraordinary, scoring the highest of all contestants. Mickey comes up, hugging her, and tells people he's her agent. Georgie and Jules run up and hug her, and suddenly Johnny appears, saying he guesses her hourly rate must have just shot through the roof. She tells him he hurt her, and he tells her sincerely that he's sorry. Kim begins joking, saying now that she's a snowboarding megastar, she's way out of his league, and he smiles, and kisses her. They're caught on TV, and Caroline tells Dickie she's alright. Suddenly, Nigel comes up to Georgie to express his love for her, but then Mickey comes up and kisses her. Instead, he turns to Jules, asking if she wants to catch a gondola, and she says okay. And finally, as people are cheering, Kim runs up to receive her prize, having won $25,000. The end. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this, and hit the like button to help us out. Until next time, take care.